You know the feeling in that doctor's office. The cuff tightens around your arm, the little dial climbs, and there's that pause before the nurse reads the number out loud. And lately, the number's been creeping up, a little high, borderline. Maybe they've already started using the word medication. Nobody in that room says the other word out loud, but you've thought it. Because high blood pressure itself isn't really what scares you. It's the stroke it leads to, the one that can take your words, or the use of one side of your body, or your ability to live in your own home at all. Here's what they rarely tell you in that little room. Between just keep an eye on it and take this pill for the rest of your life, there is a whole lot you can do yourself. And one of the simplest things millions of older folks in Japan already do every single day is sitting right there in their kitchen. A cup of green tea with one small red addition that the research has gotten genuinely interested in. So stay with me, because at the very end, I'll show you the one simple thing that tells you whether this is actually working for you. Most people never do it. And before that, I'll show you the mistake almost everyone makes that quietly destroys the benefit before the cup ever reaches their lips. But first, let me tell you what that number on the cuff is really doing to you, silently, while you feel completely fine. That last part is the whole danger. High blood pressure has no feeling, none. There is no ache, no warning light, nothing that tells you it's happening. You can feel perfectly good while, day after day, the pressure is wearing on the walls of your arteries the way the too strong current wears on a riverbank. It's working on the fine vessels in your brain, in your kidneys, in your heart. And the first time many people find out how far it went is the morning something gives way. That's why this matters so much more than a number on a chart. Your independence, getting up, getting dressed, driving to see the grandkids, living in your own house on your own terms, all of it sits on top of a brain and a heart that are quietly under pressure right now. A stroke doesn't just hurt you. It hands your daily life over to somebody else. That is the real thing we're talking about here. Not blood pressure, the stroke we're trying to make sure never comes. And maybe you've been told the same thing I was, that this is just part of getting older, that everybody's numbers drift up, it's normal, and there's nothing to do but wait and medicate. I want to gently push back on that, because it's the exact story that keeps good people sitting still. Your blood pressure is not a fixed feature of your age. It responds to what you eat, to how you move, and yes, to what you drink day after day. Normal for your age and nothing you can do about it are two very different sentences. Somewhere along the way, they got glued together, and that quiet mix-up costs people years. And here's the part that left me feeling stuck for a while. I felt like I only had two choices: pretend it wasn't happening, or hand the whole thing over to a pill and stop thinking about it. Nobody offered me the middle. Nobody said, here are the small, steady things you can do yourself every day that nudge this in the right direction. So I went and found them. And I want to be honest with you from the start, because this channel is built on honesty. What I'm about to show you is not a cure, and it is not a replacement for anything your doctor has you on. It's a gentle, daily nudge. But for something that costs pennies and tastes good, the science behind it genuinely surprised me. It started, like a lot of these things do, with a simple question. Why do so many people in Japan stay sharp and steady and independent so much longer than we do? And one answer is hiding in plain sight, in a cup that's been part of daily life there for centuries. Green tea. Not as a treatment, just as a habit, something they drink every single day without thinking about it, the way we pour a coffee. What I didn't know was that this ordinary daily cup has been studied, seriously, for exactly the thing I was worried about. And then I learned there was a way to make it do more, a small addition, backed by its own research, that works through a completely different door. That was the part that got me. Not one ingredient hoping to do everything. Two simple things that each do a little in their own way. If nobody's ever walked you through this, that's exactly why I make these videos. Subscribe, and I'll keep them coming, one honest, simple thing at a time. Now let me show you what's actually in the cup. The base is Japanese green tea. That part is genuinely Japanese, and genuinely the foundation. Green tea is full of compounds called catechins. The main one has a long name, but you don't need it. Just know it's the workhorse. In a review that pooled 13 separate human trials, drinking green tea lowered blood pressure modestly, a couple of points, and the effect was stronger in the people who started out higher, which is to say, the people who need it most. The same research found it nudged cholesterol down too. A couple of points isn't a miracle. But a couple of points held steady for years is the kind of quiet math that protects a brain. And there's a reason green tea in particular keeps turning up in this research. Those catechins are the lion's share, 80 to 90%, of the beneficial compounds in the leaf. This isn't a trace ingredient you have to go hunting for. It's most of what's already in the cup. And the detail I found most encouraging was this one. The higher your pressure is to begin with, the more the research watched it move. So if your number is exactly the kind that's been keeping you up at night, you may turn out to be the very person this helps the most. Now the red flower, and here's where I owe you the truth, because the title doesn't tell the whole story. The red flower is hibiscus. And hibiscus is not an ancient Japanese secret. It's grown and drunk all over the world, and in the research, it goes by the name sour tea. So think of it this way. The green tea is the Japanese part, and the red flower is the upgrade the science keeps pointing back to. In studies on people with high blood pressure, hibiscus brought down both the top and the bottom numbers. And in one review, it lowered the bad cholesterol by around 6 or 7%. It works through different compounds than green tea does, the pigments that make it so deeply red. And that's the entire reason to put them in the same cup. They aren't doing the same job twice. They're each opening a different door. Researchers even tested them head-to-head, 54 men, green tea against sour tea, 6 weeks, carefully measured. Different strengths, different compounds, both moving the needle. So you don't pick a side. You let the strong, steady catechins of the green tea do their work, and you let the red flower add its own, and you drink the two of them together. So here's exactly how to make it, and the first step is the one that matters most, because it's where almost everyone goes wrong. Do not pour boiling water over green tea. That's the mistake. Boiling water scalds those delicate catechins, the very thing you're drinking it for. And on top of that, it turns the cup bitter, so you stop wanting it. Boil your kettle, then let it stand and cool for a couple of minutes. You're after water that's hot but not raging, around 70 to 80 degrees Celsius if you've got a thermometer, just off the boil if you don't. Then steep your green tea in that gentler water for a couple of minutes. Add the dried hibiscus right in with it so they brew together, or if you like, steep the hibiscus on its own and pour the two together in the cup. Either way works. You'll know the hibiscus is in there because the cup turns the deep, beautiful red you saw at the start. And then the most important spec of all, make it a habit. This is not a one-cup fix. The people who saw these results drank it daily for weeks. 1 cup tells you nothing. A cup a day for a couple of months is where the quiet math starts to add up. A couple of practical notes while we're here. Loose dried hibiscus from a tea shop or the bulk aisle is cheap and works beautifully, but a plain hibiscus tea bag is perfectly fine if that's easier. Don't drown it in sugar. A little honey is all right if you need it, but the sweeter you make it, the more of the good you hand back. And if the sourness is sharp for you at first, use a bit less hibiscus and build up over time. The whole goal is a cup you'll actually want to reach for every single morning. Now the honest part, and I won't rush past it. These are small, modest nudges, single digits, not a cure and not a drug. If your doctor has you on blood pressure medication, this does not replace it, and you do not stop anything you've been prescribed. I'm not a doctor. I'm just someone who got scared by his own numbers and went looking. So talk to yours before you start, and that matters more here than usual because hibiscus can interact with some blood pressure and water pill medications. One quick conversation makes this safe. I want to hear from you on this one. How old are you, and what's that number on the cuff been lately? Tell me down in the comments. There's a whole crowd in there keeping each other honest. Now, the small thing I promised you at the very start, and it's the one that turns a nice habit into something you can actually trust. Track it. Get yourself one of those inexpensive arm cuffs you can use at home and take your blood pressure at the same time each day, say every morning before your tea, and write the number down. Just a little notebook by the kettle. Here's why it matters so much. The only way to know if any of this is working for you, your body, not a study, is to watch your own number move over a few weeks. That notebook tells you the truth, and it's the single most useful thing you can carry into your next doctor's appointment, because now you're not guessing, you've got weeks of real numbers. One more small thing, keep your tea and your medication a couple of hours apart, just to be tidy about it. That little habit of measuring is what took this for me from, I hope it's helping, to, I can see that it is. So let me bring you back to that doctor's office. The cuff, the climbing dial, the number you've been quietly dreading. The point of all this was never the tea. It's that you stop feeling powerless in that chair. It's that between doing nothing and handing it all over, you've got a small, steady thing you do every single morning that's on your side, and a notebook that proves it. Because this was never really about blood pressure. It's about protecting the brain and the body that let you live in your own home, speak your own words, and stay the person your family knows. That's the whole thing. That's what we're protecting, one quiet red cup at a time. If that's what you want too, the next video on your screen is where I'd go next. I'll see you there.